Hello,
We're here.
welcome. This is Loretta. She's a wonderful mommy, a wife. You work in engineering. You're a business owner. You also helped your mom start her business.
It's a long list.
There's more to it, I know.
Let's keep going.
Welcome. Thank you for coming to Rightfully So. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. I think this is an amazing project.
Thank
and
you.
I think you're going to go places because you're a very hardworking woman. Since I met you, I knew that. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. And I think, I want to inspire people. That's why I decided to come here and we're going to talk about this.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm so happy to have you. So let's bring it back. So you are my Brazilian sister.
Yes, born and raised.
Born and raised. And then you came here 13 years ago?
13 years ago. I'm from São Paulo, big city. It's funny, right? People have an idea of Brazil like very different. You probably go through that too. People are like, oh, you're from Brazil. And I'm like,
Everyone's
yeah.
from the favela.
Yeah, or the jungle. I'm like, yeah, I'm from São Paulo. It's like New York City. There's like, big headquarters and people drive Lamborghinis. Like, it's a normal place, I promise you. And then I was raised in Rio, where, the Christ. You guys all know the Christ. That's a famous one. And the favelas, there's a lot of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the music videos.
Yeah.
I don't know why they think that's
right. That's the cool part. It's like, all you see,
not
it's
the
like,
beach,
yeah.
not the wonderful city.
Right. All you see is like naked women in the favelas.
And Brazil's huge. There's just everything. You literally could just, if you could walk through it, you would just pass by so many different
cultures,
faces, like
everything,
all tones, everything.
And that's another mistake that people make too. And like I'm like Latina, you can tell, but when you look. But I have friends that are like blonde, blue eyes, and they come here and they're like, "How come you're Brazilian?" And my friends are like, "What do you mean by that?"
How come?
Do you know Gisele Bündchen? Like, she was married to Tom Brady. I mean, she's Brazilian, like she's blonde. So people have like wrong ideas about things.
Now it's Anita. Everyone, if you don't like Anita, are you Brazilian?
Right, seriously.
So that's awesome. And where did you meet your husband?
Here. So, fun fact. I was married before. So I divorced. I was married to a Brazilian. I came here married and I divorced. But my husband is my second marriage. I'm glad I found you. I found him online. But he's American. So it's a multicultural like household. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And you've been with him how long now?
So it'll be 5 years this year. We got married 2 years ago, but we've been together for 5. So awesome. We met online. Who would think meeting someone online? It's bizarre. So, yeah, but we met online.
And you work in supply chain.
Yes.
And then you and your husband decided to create Kedi Pets.
Yes.
Let's talk about that, which is, I love it. I think it's such an awesome project.
Thank you.
I have a kitty cat that my parents had to adopt because my daughter's very allergic. I know. So tell us about Kedi.
I will. So I'm a mechanical engineer by degree. I work at J&J and then CanView. J&J split, right? So if you guys don't know, J&J like became CanView. So all the consumer products that we know, like Band-Aid, Listerine, Neutrogena, they all became like CanView, this new company. And I still work there. I work in supply chain. I work in engineering very little in my career. I didn't do hardcore engineering. My mom sometimes says it's a waste. I'm like, thanks. She's like, yeah, you should work in engineering. But I did a little bit, but I'm a people person and it made sense to go to supply chain. But then a few years ago, the company, changed because now it's a different company and there's a lot of like things happening, layoffs and things like that. And then 2 years ago, my grandfather passed away. And thank you. He was like my father. And he never worked for anybody else. So he was an entrepreneur from day one and he raised an entire family. And when he died, it was an awakening. Like, you know what? You got to go for it. If you're listening to this, go for it. And I was like, that's time to go for it. And I was like, I'm young. If I make the mistakes, I still can recover and I still can make money. And there's other ways to recoup. And I decided to open a business. And my husband was like, you're crazy. And we're like, okay, I don't care. We're going to do
But
this.
he joined you.
He did.
Now we're crazy.
No, he's a very supportive. I would not be able to do it without him. We're co-founders. He works with me a lot. But I still work at CanView. Like I still do full time. And then I do the business in my odd hours mostly. And my days off.
Fun.
Yeah, very
and
fun.
Right before we started, she took a call.
I took a call.
She's like, sorry. I'm like,
sorry, I got to take a customer.
Do your thing.
Money coming in.
That's sweet. And your grandpa was an entrepreneur in Brazil.
correct? He's an architect, was an architect.
Awesome.
And he had the chance to work for the government in Brazil. And he was like, no, I want my freedom. And he was like, he had all his customers, he managed his own business. And I learned from that. I was like, you know what? You got to go for it. So,
Yeah, and I think seeing that it's hard to not go down that route. I feel like my mom as well. My mom never had a job that was for somebody else. She's also entrepreneur, and I think since that's all I knew, it feels weird
to not try something.
And then her reasoning for it, I identified with it. She's like, on my own terms, on my own time. And I tried work, and I have a degree in business. And I'm like, let me try the office thing.
Try the corporate.
And I actually worked for a company. It was a packaging company, and we did a lot of work with J&J.
Oh, wow.
So I was familiar with the products, because sometimes people don't know what products belong to what company. It's like, that's Bayer, that's J&J.
Yes. That's fun. That's nice. That's good.
So I worked in quality.
Which is good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of engineers in quality.
But it wasn't fulfilling at all. And I was like, I am working so hard for garbage, because it's literally a packaging company. Yeah. But that was my last job. Besides,
I don't want to talk about how we met.
Let's not say the place. Besides a restaurant, we served together briefly. Were you there long after I left?
A little bit. I think I was there for a year. I left in November 2024.
Okay, and so wow.
Same time.
Oh no, because I left May.
Yeah. Like a little bit later.
Yeah, so we had a little.
We met in a restaurant business. So that's another thing.
That's a different thing too. That's another thing.
That's another thing, because when we met, I was working Kenview, the business, and the restaurant.
Jesus.
So people would turn to me. They got like some background, right?
And she's a mom.
That's the fun part of the background, right? It is a fine dining place, right? So I would go to the tables and talk to people, and you talk to tables and they ask about your life. It's weird. People do ask about your life when you're serving, like, right? And they're like, yeah, so, do you go to school? Do you study? And I'm like, yeah, I'm an engineer. I graduated and I have a job. And they look at you like, what are you doing here? Right? Isn't it weird?
And they all think we're 20.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I do have a life.
It's so funny.
So people would ask me, even like the servers, right? They were like, why are you here? I'm like, well, you need to fund the business, right? Need money.
Yeah. I mean, I was supplementing with it too for a bit, and it worked until it just didn't work. Yeah. And then I ran for the hills.
Yeah. That's good. That's the way to be.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship.
Yeah, you do the things when you need to with a purpose, and
that's true. I would definitely go back if I had to. I always tell my husband, if we need money, it's
fun.
And it's a good industry.
Fit. It's true. You're walking around for like hours.
And it's good money. It's like you make money, you can, save and stuff. So it's a good opportunity. If anybody watching here, struggling financially, has a job but needs more money, figure out a serving job on the weekends.
Serving job, for sure.
It's going to help you.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely does help.
And now there's like no tax on tips.
I was going to say, now you have that. There's a limit to the amount, but
still,
hey, it has to work.
Yeah. It's better than when we were there, because we paid full tax on that. So think about it.
So back to Kedi itself. What is Kedi?
What is Kedi? So that's a lot right now. I'll tell you that. So it is a pet supply business. So we actually manufacture and supply cones. So like the cone of shame, that thing that your pet uses when they have surgery and they discharge from the doctor, they have this cone. That's what we do. It's like,
and they do funny things when they're on the cone.
Right.
They try to.
It's not a sexy industry, right? You would think like somebody's like, oh yeah, I'm an entrepreneur.
But it's cute.
It is, and it has a mission, right?
And it's actually cute. The design, I see
Thank
that.
you.
I'm like a detail freak, so I notice like every little detail.
So I designed a few of the things. We got a patent approved, so I'm an official scientist, which is cool, for the vast. And then we sell on Amazon. We sell 3 lines. So we have the premium line, which is like the discharge line that you take it home. That's more comfortable. So that's the line that we actually want people to use in the house, right? You don't want the pets to be wearing like the uncomfortable cone. So that's more comfortable. It's safe. So that's a big thing for us. It's designed to be safe. No loose strings. Don't use loose strings on your pets. They can get strangled.
I saw that about. There's a lot of accidents with that.
Dangerous, yeah. Anything like if you have a pet that you're buying clothes, if you're buying anything that has loose strings, they can get strangled. So they can get hooked somewhere. Yeah. So safety is big. And then our baseline is our basic cone for the veterinaries. And that's the one that was in the call before.
About
Yeah, we work low cost clinics. We work with shelters to use their, like, to sell to them the basic cone, which is used mostly in like surgical space. And the vests. So it's 3 products and we're expanding.
And to my understanding, a big reason why you stand out besides having a great product is that you also focus on the affordability side of it.
1000%. So we are proud to say we're the most affordable cone supplier in the United States, and we are specialized. So our factory, our supply only is cones. So different than all the competitors, right? They have several supplies.
Multiple things.
Right. We're specialized in one thing, and we want to get more specialized, have different cones. But it's something that's first. The second is best price, right? Our prices, like, you cannot even compare.
Unbeatable.
Yeah, you cannot even compare. For a low cost clinic, it's like thousands and thousands of dollars to save every year because we're able to price it so much lower. And the intention is to help. We have a rebate program. So if you are a shelter and you recommend us to a vet, you get 5% of every order.
Sweet.
So think
Take
about
advantage.
your
Yeah.
shelter, right? You need donations. Well, we got you. Like, recommend us to a vet. We'll be able to close that vet. Once we have that account and the vet is ordering our product, you get 5% every order for the
Awesome.
life of the account.
Oh, wow.
So that's like $50, $100, $150 every month for the shelter. So that's a way to give back to the community.
Wow. Especially since a lot of your clients are charitable companies that are probably nonprofit. So any way that could help, you're pretty much donating as well and helping the
1000%.
cause that they're helping. Also, a big thing with that is not only are you very competitive in price and affordable, you're also not cutting out quality because of that. So you're getting quality at a premium.
A better rate.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
So our product, our plastic has more layers. So our plastic's thicker, better quality. And we also have a possibility to have the clinic's logo on it. So we just started a customized like line. So if you are a big institution like a veterinary office who has several locations, VG, VCA, Blue Pearl, you get Oradell, right? All these big hospitals, like big names, ASPCA, and you want your logo on the cones, we make that for the same price that you pay now. Which is crazy. Think about you're paying to put somebody else's logo on it, and I
Yeah.
can make it with your logo for the same price.
Wow.
I know.
That's awesome.
Marketing, right?
And yeah, and it's you both have the marketing with that.
Exactly.
You market that I could do this for you at the same price, and then for them, they could use that in their space. And
Yeah, and think about it, like you leave with the cone, right? The dog is wearing the cone, and you walk in the park, and it has the logo on it.
Yeah.
So people are actually seeing it, right? The dog is walking around, so they will see it.
yeah, I
So,
hope
yeah.
they get to walk and they feel better
Right.
from whatever it was they needed. But that's awesome. So you have quality, you have a great price, and you also have the marketing and everything else you would want in the product.
one
And
product.
you're so specialized because it is cone world at Kedi.
Yeah, we're the cone people. And the reason why we call like Kedi Pet Solutions is because we bring solutions, right? So
Yeah.
we save money. The conversation with the actual customer is, let's see how I'm going to help you save money.
Yeah.
So I'm going to cut costs for you. I'm going to cut shipping. I'm going to see ways if you can resell my line and then you can profit on it. So we work in different ways and solutions for the customer.
For the ultimate solution at the end is also for the pet because they have the protection with the cone that they will need regardless because that's why they were at the vet for. So that's awesome. I love that. I think it's great. I'm so happy for you guys and that you were able to come up with such a business. What was the most difficult part of the process, especially when it comes to creating a product?
So you spend a lot of money in the creation process, right? So let's start with that. It's expensive. R&D is expensive. So imagine how many prototypes we went through until we get the one that works. So think about fabric, plastic, suppliers, right? We had to interview like hundreds and hundreds of factories to understand which one is good. And some people are shady. Some people are weird. Some people are like, like, right. I'm like, yeah, they're not responding to me for 3 days. Like, this is not good. We need to have good communication, right? So there's all these things that you have to do and it's costly. Every time you need to do a sample, it's costly. So it was hard to develop the product. It was hard to design the product, but it was worth it. But it's definitely like the design piece was costly. I would say like the toughest part to have the business is It's money. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
funds. It's
I
a
think
lot of
about
money.
that a lot. Ideas, I have a book of them. But the funding of these ideas, I know that's a whole other book.
It is expensive, but it's worth it, right?
Yeah.
Like it's good debt, I say.
Yeah. And when you like set your mind to it and like you have the drive because of the purpose, it's worth it at the end. And then now you're at the place where it's out there, it's being used, it's being purchased, you're getting calls at 7 o'clock at night. So that means that it's you made it to the place where any business owner wants to get to.
Thank you. Well, not
And
yet.
grow, not like there's room to grow. There's always room to
1000%.
grow, and
Sky's the
and you
limit.
will grow. Sky's the limit.
Thank you.
But at least you're launched and you're moving, which is. And so you said if a person needed one for their home, it would be they could get it on Amazon.
Yeah. So retail price, like we don't ship one cone to you, right? We are more wholesale in our website, but you can get on Amazon. And in our website, you can actually go and find the Amazon link and then just buy it.
I will put all that for
you.
people in the notes and make sure to tag it because you never know when you need it. And most people that I know have pets.
Yes, true. And it's safety again, guys. Like we really, really focus on the safety aspect. So if you're looking for something that's affordable, our Amazon cone is the best price in Amazon too. So we're famous for being the best price everywhere. So if you find like, you see that like $12.99, you don't find it in any other brand.
That seems great. I haven't had to purchase a cone, but that seems like a really fair price for sure.
Yeah.
So they could also watch your content because there's things that they might find out that like the loose string thing. I never even thought of. There's things you don't think about until it's presented in front of you, and then you have a reason to think about it. And a lot of times for your pets or for anything, it could save your pet. It could save you another trip to the vet. So it's good to know as much as you can when it comes to products. And like you said, there's so many shady, not only companies, but also suppliers and that they just do things, they cut corners.
They just want the cash. It's sad. If you go to Amazon and you look at like the competitors, you will see their listings, you see everything, and then you scroll all the way to the bottom and you see the country and you see like they're not American suppliers. So they are from all over the world. They're just trying to get a bite of the American dollar, right?
So you have an American supplier.
I have a Chinese supplier, but my quality is American. And part of the process is actually made here. So all the customization is made in the US. But like where I'm talking about, like the competitors are Chinese.
Everything from beginning to end. Like there's Chinese letters on the packaging when you get it.
They don't even live here. Like it's like these people are in different countries. So these people are in different countries actually, selling on Amazon, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
But when you look, like there's not even, they don't care. There's no research, right?
Yeah.
There's nobody, like we went to vets and we asked them, does this work for you? Like what is working, what's not working? There's research involved, right? There's a process creation of a product. We're just not putting something like that out there to sell and make money. We're actually trying to change an industry that's been corrupt and it's been expensive, and we're trying to help make it better. So there's a mission behind it, and I think most of my competitors don't have that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Not only is the medical industry tough when it comes to humans, also apparently it seems that in the pet world, which I do see a lot of shadiness with that.
It's hard.
And it's sad because a lot of it, you notice it more with the pets. Things just seem to hit them harder.
It's true.
So whenever something goes wrong, it's very obvious with the pets, I feel.
That's true. That is true.
That's unfortunate.
But one thing you touched on, I want to bring it up because I think it might be helpful for your audience, is like, how do you get customers, right? You're a small business. So I'm a little fish in a big shark tank.
Yeah.
We're talking about my competitors are multi-million-dollar companies.
Yes.
Like think about medical supplies, right? Think about J&J is a medical supply company, not that, but like imagine me going against like J&J, and like big companies. So it's the door to door.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about selling anything, you got to get in your car and visit people and knock on their doors and explain why your product's better. So there's no way around it.
No.
Right? I'm going to California in a month. I'm being Florida next week, and I'm going to visit people and be like, "Hey, I'm here.
And not only do you have to explain why your product is better, you have to prove it.
1000%. So I bring all the samples with me, and then we have these conversations. But it's all about like you have, as a new business owner, to get out of the bed and the chair and go sell your product.
Like the Kim Kardashian,
Right.
Get up and work.
Yeah, it's like door to door sales. Yeah. Like you don't want to do that. You want to hire someone, they're not going to have the same energy as you.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to know the product as you. So, that's maybe fine in the future. But right now, I'm knocking at the door.
Once you get to that point, that's a different story. It sells itself. But when you're getting started and you're trying and you're working on growing, then there's the same thing even in my business.
Oh yeah, real estate.
Everyone
100%.
knows you have to
go for it.
Put your face out there everywhere and
Yes.
literally knock on doors and call everyone.
Yeah.
And
it's hustle.
Yeah. And then not only do you do that, then you have to prove to them why they're choosing you, and time again, showing them that they made the right choice, because things get out, especially now. There's reviews, there's social media, there's 101 websites.
Yes.
So it's important.
And social media, one other thing that we're different, right? You don't see, tell me a cone supplier that's active on social media, and I'll be like, no, that's us. It is true. Like, I'm like, my husband and I have this conversation a lot. He's like, but you have to be like talking to people and you have to be like on camera. And I'm like, yeah, like I want to be relatable, right? I want to donate to a shelter, but I want them to know who we are and why we're here. So there's more to the business, and I think the social media presence is essential. It's important. So our competitors are missing up on that.
Don't tell them.
Don't tell them.
It's a secret. No, that's definitely true. And you have to do all the ways. And from what I feel, you're doing it obviously for the business, for having a business, for being an entrepreneur, but finding a solution, there's a purpose behind that, and being able to offer that solution. And then you said donating to these charities. It's like, this is your pathway to being able to give more
100%.
to a charity that, in a cause that you really care about. 100%. And sometimes when that's the purpose, it shows why things start to work out, because that drive is like a very honest, raw, selfless drive. And it should be selfish too, because you should want to live a comfortable life and have your business and hope that everything works well, and you have, your husband, your child, and your life, that you want the best for it. But also knowing that the excitement of, like, the more we grow, the more we're able to help all these vets and all these, companies, and also all these pets, and then also we could give back.
1000%. It's our mission, right? I'm very big on this. There's no way to get before you give. And that's in life, right? When you meet someone and you're starting a relationship, you got to give, right?
Yeah.
I gave a lot of cones away, right? I knock on the door and I'm like, here's a box of samples. Use it. Let me know if it works. And you have to have the money. And that's why I said funds are important, right? You need to fund your samples, and you need to fund your trips to visit your customers. But you have to have the mission. We're never going to abandon the shelter community, right? No matter how big we get. That's our purpose. Like, we want to help. These people are volunteering in any weather to go and help pets for free. And that's beautiful, right? It's one of the most beautiful things. And we want to be able to help more. But as a company, like, we're small, it's very hard to donate to everyone. We already donate so much. Like, every month we have like recurrent donations that we do, but we want to do more. And we know that with time, that's going to happen.
And I think it's people like you that are needed, even like you said in the name, it's Kedi Pet Solutions. I think solutions is where the focus needs to be, not only for the pets and the cones that we're speaking of right now, but as it pertains to everything we're hearing. We're constantly hearing of every single problem under the sun, of an individual, of a group, of a country, of a state, of a city, of a whatever. And there's so many issues, and we know that. And there's always been a ton of issues. But what we don't hear a lot is the solution. And even myself, it's like, I don't even want to speak on this, because I don't have the most minimal idea of the
To solve all
solution.
this.
And I don't see anyone giving me a solution that I could jump in and help on. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's tough. So I think and I always say, even my kids, I'm just like, figure it out. This isn't working. This figure it out.
Right. And that's the right mentality.
Be resilient.
Yes.
That's important. Figure it out. Find a solution. Where there's a will, there's a way, and where there's a problem, there's a solution.
100%.
So just how are we gonna find that? Is the focus, I think.
It is. And we learned that in engineering school, right? So some people ask me like, oh my God, but I went to engineering school. You have a business, you work in supply chain, you don't use engineering. And I say that engineering was the number one thing that prepared me to the real world. Because when you are in engineering school, the first thing they teach you is figure out.
Oh my God, I can't imagine.
So you are in this like heat transfer class and you're preparing for the final and you do this exam and you cannot finish the question. And the teacher is like, grade you 10 because it's like, okay, you went further than everybody else, but you went further, but no solution, but you're trying. So it's like engineering is almost like you're graded on effort. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like
there's barely any solution.
some things don't, many things don't. But they teach you.
But the further you get, the closer everyone is to the
solution. And then the other thing that they teach you is like something that didn't work in the past doesn't mean it's not going to work now, because the times are different, the people are different. And that's so true. And I use that in my job in Canview. Somebody comes and say, oh, we tested this 10 years ago. And I'm like, well, 10 years ago was different than now. And in engineering, we test it again. And we're going to do it. So that's how life should be, right? When you say like, I tried this before, it didn't work. I posted a video, it didn't get viral. Like nobody liked my stuff. Well, keep doing it. Just keep doing it.
Keep doing it. Keep doing it. And even if you hit a wall, make a hole in it, keep going.
Just climb the mountain. Climb the mountain.
Get to the other side. Keep on. I just, that's so true. And even with, when you said you went to engineering school, there's so much you learn from the things that, even me, I'm just like, oh, I got a degree. I'm not using it. And sometimes I'm like, should I be using it? Blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, I am, one way or another. There's so much that I gained and learned from the experience, the schooling, whatever it was, that is a part of me and I carry with me in everything that I do. So it was very important for you. And I think maybe without that engineering background, this wouldn't have been a path you would have taken.
Probably
or
not.
Thought to.
Probably not. Especially the engineering side, creating the cone itself, right? Creating the vast, like designing it. There was engineering behind it. So probably not. And I love the fact that I was a mechanical engineer. I graduated. It was my dream.
And you graduated here?
Yeah, here. So I have a degree from Brazil in English.
Yes.
Which is weird, right? I know. I'm like, human,
that's why you
and it's science, right? It's like, yeah, but like it's crazy because people usually like they don't do humanities and science, and I did humanities and then science.
Yeah.
So I did English, Brazil. So like I could teach a Brazilian speaker English. Like I was not an English teacher. I was specialized in teaching Brazilians English, and I specialized in pronunciation. So I know I have an accent. You're probably like, how did you teach someone pronunciation? You have an accent. Well, believe me, people have way worse accents, right? And they got better. So I work on that. And then when I came to the US, I studied engineering here at NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology.
Not an easy task.
No. Fun though. It was fun.
It was fun.
Think about an MBA now, maybe, let's say.
Oh, listen, if anyone could do it, clearly, it's this gal right here.
It is an expensive degree, so we are seeing if it's worth it. I'm kind of investing my money in inventory right now, so.
Yeah, school is a tough one for me. I always say, you know, if you're choosing a career that you must have an education for, you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, and even lawyer, there's ways around it, but those kind of careers, I'm like, engineering, of course, definitely, things like that, you do the schooling. But everything else, I'm just like, in those 4 years, if you could figure out things that you could do to make you more advanced in that topic, in that career, without the degree, it's much more valuable than sitting through a class and listening to a professor who is teaching rather than, well, some of them do work in the field as well, but they're not out there doing the thing. Like you're teaching me entrepreneurship, but you don't even have a business.
That's true.
So it's just like, I don't know. I'm just like, is there more value in just getting out there, following someone around who's already doing it big?
Yeah.
Whatever you could do, you probably will get more value in getting coffee for the big business entrepreneur than you do being in
classroom.
in that classroom for 3
I
hours.
agree. There's two aspects to that I see. I do agree that education, depending on your field, can be acquired through courses, mentorship, coaching, and life, right? Business is one of them. Many people that are in business don't have a business degree. But I feel there's one thing to the degree that I would say it's important, and it's the branding aspect. Loretta, is 10 years from now, people are going to be like this? Probably not. I think the industry is changing a lot
It's
with
changing
AI.
a lot, and I hear that a lot with business owners now. They're saying, "Listen, I don't even look at your resume where you graduated from. I don't care."
Yes. So, and with AI, right, some careers will just
Fade away.
disappear. So I feel like this is going to change. But in the current age, if nothing works, you have a degree and you can get a job, right? Because in corporate, for example, in Kenview and, in J&J, when I worked there, you need to have at least a bachelor's to get in. And then that is something that if you have, it may open doors. So it could be like plan B for you. And I think some of the degrees are like branding, right? It's funny with engineering and being a woman, people automatically think you're smart. And I'm like, that's not usually the case. I'm really not, right? I'm not an engineer. Like if I sat with an engineer right now, I'll be like, I'll fail every test. So, but it's branding. People are like, oh, wow. And I'm like, sure. But it's not true, right? It's somebody comes to you and say, I have an MBA. You're like, okay. Like it's a little bit of the branding aspect that you carry with the degree. But I agree with you. Many career, your life experience, your coaching, who you're following, what courses are you taking, it's way more valuable.
Yeah. I see that a lot. And I think, anything you could learn in the classroom, it's a textbook. It's a syllabus.
That's true.
Go out there and follow that syllabus for yourself alone in your room. And instead of, a 3-hour class once a week, you could do it in your time.
And read. People
and read is big. I know you read a lot, and I have been slacking lately, but I'm getting back on my reading.
10 pages. You need 10 pages a day. That's 12 books a year.
Wow.
Guys, how long does it take?
75 hard. Have you ever tried?
No, I never tried.
But one of the tasks on 75 hard is 10 pages a day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I got this from this Light Edge, which was a book I read last year, and it's powerful because if you do 10 pages, 10 pages is nothing. You can literally be in the bathroom doing number 2 and reading 10 pages. Like that's if you have no excuse.
I go too fast.
Well, then maybe we gotta find something else. But like literally, like you have no excuse to not read 10 pages.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're finding an excuse right now. Like you look at me and I'm like, I can't. No, you can. 10 pages.
When I realize I scrolled through
social media,
Instagram for X amount of time, I'm just like, I could have read 3 times that amount of pages.
And it's like, if you put a big goal, sometimes it's harder. So if you're like, I gotta read, I gotta sit down and read, then it becomes hard. But if you do like 10 pages and you gotta stop at 10 pages, just stop. But I'm in the middle of a chapter, stop at 10 pages. And then you do it every day. You're gonna be like, after a month, I just read a book and it felt like nothing. Yeah. And it's crazy because 10 pages, there's a study behind this. You read 10 pages, your brain is going to associate that information from 10 pages way more than if you read like 30, 40. Yeah. Because it's like short, So it's good.
And I like to read books that I'm not big on, stories like
novels,
fiction. Like, I like more like something that's teaching me.
Yeah.
But those could be very heavy, especially if you're reading more than one of those. You could overwhelm yourself. So like, I think the 10 pages helps you soak in those 10 pages. If it's a story, like if I'm reading Harry Potter, like, I kind of know the story already, so I could like go through it if I must. But something that you're getting some kind of value or learning something from, or trying to put that into your life and what you do, like take from it and actually use it, then 10 pages sounds ideal.
Try that and let me know if that worked for you.
One tip for someone looking to start a business, whether it is a tangible product or anything in general, what do you think if you go back to yourself when you first started, what is one thing you would tell yourself for sure to not forget?
The budget. So that's my husband's part. He's like, didn't you say we're gonna start and just spend X? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, we're at 5X. So I think money is important. So it's like when you go under construction, you're in real estate, you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about, right? Like you're in construction, you estimate.
It's never that number.
Right. I'm gonna spend $10,000 and then like it's like 25. So I think like, underestimate the money, but like save more because you know you're gonna go over. So like, I think about that. It's important first. Second thing, I would say it's not giving up. But how do I know, Loretta, if this idea is good or bad that I should pursue and keep doing it? You will have feedback, right? What makes us keep going? We launched on Amazon. We got all these good reviews. People, I don't know, we didn't pay for reviews, right? Amazon is like very legit on the reviews. People are just telling the product's good. You're showing the product to people, they're saying it's good. So I'm like, okay, this has edge. And then you just keep going. So I would think like resilience first, organization. You got to be organized. I wish at the beginning I was more organized. Like taxes, our first year doing taxes, I forgot. After I filed taxes, I remember so many things that I spent money on. Like no joke. Like we filed like March. By May, I was like, oh my God,
This is the list I'm missing.
there was at least like $20,000 I spent that I did not put on. I was like, oh God, it's organization.
Yeah, that I knew that would happen. And there's accounts now. There's I use Found for the business account where you put when you use for your business expenses and you categorize it, and at the end of the year it does that for you and it transfers into your tax when you do it. I have to do everything myself, so I'm like, well, how could I do it myself in a way that I'm not really doing it myself? It kind of does it on its own. I just have to go and Found. Yeah, I'll link it. Yeah, I'll link it. But it's for business is really great. Yeah, I think that's I would never forget that I bought that coffee, whatever that would count as a business expense because, yeah, I know myself. Everything counts, and you should do that because then, taxes are.
It's a big hit.
Yeah.
So I did that. One thing I would say is outsource. So I just mentioned Found. I'll mention AI. I'm huge on AI. We have a meeting now in August coming up talking to a company about AI and how we're going to implement AI. So that DM, emailing, social media can all be managed by AI.
Even for cones. And now it's like you have to go along with it. You have to. Yeah.
You gotta be behind. Things are moving fast. So AI, and then the other thing is VA, so virtual assistant.
I've heard those are great.
Right. In the United States, you're here spending all this money. Like it's very hard. Like you pay someone like $20 an hour, right, to do your social media. It's expensive. You hire a VA, they're going to be out of Singapore, India, Vietnam, and then you pay them the fair share for what the services they charge, and they work for you for like 10, 20 hours a week, and they manage parts of the business. In my case, I don't do the VAs out of India and China. I do from Brazil. So I have two people in Brazil. We have someone that does the social media for us and someone that does all the finances. And because of the currency exchange, we pay them fairly well for Brazil.
Yeah.
But for the US, it's fairly cheap.
Yeah.
So it's a way to benefit also
everyone. And you're helping someone and you're being helped. It does help. Yeah.
You can't do everything.
I think maybe in the beginning, obviously, especially since you said budgeting and funding is a big one. In the beginning, you have to kind of be every role, even roles you've never played before. And I think there is also a benefit to that. I feel like
you learn to teach.
Yeah.
You have to teach someone how to
Yeah. Yes.
I know, right?
And you have to know that they're doing it how you would, or how are you going to guide them on how you want it to be done. If you never did it and you don't even know how you like it to be done, and then mistakes happen and then you kind of learn. So you fall on your face first, you figure it out first, and then it makes it easier and more seamless for when you do hire that assistant or when you do hire all these other roles, especially when a company is expanding. But there is so much value in like doing it all yourself first and getting your hands dirty, then bringing everything in to help you.
You learn how to edit video. You learn like everything.
Is there any funding that you outsource? Like, is there any maybe a website or a company or a bank or a program that was helpful? Yeah, that you used that you could tell someone to.
Not really. So like there's in every bank is gonna require 2 years of your business, right? So if you go to Chase, Bank of America, all that, they're like, you need 2 years. And I'm like, well, after 2 years.
Usually if you're gonna buy a house, you also have to have work. 2 years in that field or company.
Right. So you gotta prove yourself. But for a business, like imagine 2 years later, I'm like, well, I don't need your funding anymore. Thanks, right? So I would tell you one thing that's helpful. You got to manage with care and you got to be smart and be careful, but it helps, which is the credit cards with zero interest.
Yes.
So if you get a higher amount of credit cards, you gotta have decent credit score, right? Take care of your stuff first. And then you get this 18-month, 12-month.
Yes. Oh, I've lived by those for periods of my.
Right. You get like 18 months, 12 months, maybe $8,000, $10,000, then you can, work for it. But you gotta work for it.
Yeah.
You gotta actually go and work because you know that debt is coming and you have to pay it. I'll say that's helped us, but go out and work, like find a second job, get someone in your family to find a second job to
Yeah. Do the restaurant or whatever it is for a couple months, a year, whatever.
So like for us, it's like it's mostly inventory research. It's expensive, so you gotta find ways to make money, and the credit cards do help.
Credit could really help you if you're taking care of it and overall respecting it. Some people just really turn a blind eye to their credit and it gets really bad. And I think there's a lot of, self-control, and also it's very fulfilling to use credit properly and know that even the number, it might fluctuate sometimes because there's a purpose around it. But if you know that you'll bring it right back up, then it's great. And then it helps you out. You're getting, 10K, 15K, whatever, with zero interest, which is impossible if you, get it from even a person that loans out or a bank. So if you know that you're going to work your little butt off and you're going to pay that back, it could be worth it to help you get out there, especially it's so hard. No one really just gives you money for nothing. That's really hard.
Don't borrow money from your 401k. And I'm like, wow, I did it and I don't regret it.
Yeah.
And I'm big in finance. I'm huge. Like I do study finance hardcore. I understand finance very well. But you know what? You got to use the levers that you have. And for me, it made more sense to get money to put in my business than to use that for compound interest doing 1 year or two.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you measure it out. And if you have an understanding and you calculate it with everything, you have like I'm doing that now with my own, debts and things like that. And I like calculate things down to the T, and I've used credit in my favor, and I make those changes when I seem necessary, and even the no interest thing, like, okay, you know what, let me do this balance transfer for now.
yes,
At zero for 15 months. And yes,
free some cash.
That's one thing that I did really well when I turned 18. I was like, I'm gonna go get my first credit card, which any kid doing that's probably crazy, but someone in a job or something told me, your credit is really important, but you also have to establish it, so don't be afraid to use it, but use it smartly. That's summarizing basically what they said, but it stuck with me. And they explained, in 5 minutes, we were just having a conversation, but I held that with me forever. And I got my first credit card. It was Victoria's Secret.
Well, it is committed bank
because it was pink and it was cute. I'm such a loser for that. But I was just like, and I would use it, and I would pay it monthly, and then I got another one, and I would get 50, 60, 70, $80 of like bonus redeeming money for free, and I'm paying them nothing because I was making sure to zero it out at the end of the month. And I really used it in my favor, and I never let my credit slip drastically without, a reason or a bump in the road. But besides that, I was very nice. Yeah, because I'll see people do things like, I'm like, hey, like, you keep getting this bill. Oh yeah, I haven't paid that in like 6 months. I'll get to it. And I'm like, collections is calling you and you're not like
answering.
Man.
So one thing, like, to another tip, right? To her point, right? The longer to have credit, the better. Think about, I came here 13 years ago, so I have only 13 years of credit versus my husband who has 30.
Oh, wow.
Difference. But when we had our son, who is 2.5 now, first thing we did, open a credit card. Because when he's 18, he has 18 years of credit. So you have to do that responsibly.
Yeah. No, there's parents who have screwed their kids up. and their kids become an adult and they realize their credit is ruined and they don't know why, and it's because their mom or dad used their credit.
So you got to do it right.
I
But if
could
you do it
never.
right, if you do like credit card, Roth IRA to your kids
Yes.
when they babies, they're gonna be millionaires.
Yeah.
But you gotta be responsible. Like it is not an advice for someone that's figuring out finances. But if you have your finances in order and you have a child, make sure like that's something that could benefit them.
Yeah.
Right in the long run.
Yeah. And I'm gonna use that Trump tax. What is it? The $1,000. Hey. Anything's better than
accounts, right? The educational fund account too.
That one is like I think about it all the time, but then I have that thing where I'm just like, what if they don't go to school? And I don't want to be that parent that's shoving it. I feel like my parents did that in the most innocent, the most loving way, because that's all they knew. Like, study. My dad's Brazilian. He never went to college. So he feels that if he would have, his life would be different. But I'm like, no, Dad, it has more to do with you than with the degree. But you know what? I listened because it wasn't better than me. And I'm just like, yeah, do it. And I'm just like, why?
Yeah. So that's a good point. So you can definitely then withdraw and then pay taxes on it. So let's say like 729, you pay pretty much same tax as if you do like a normal IRA, not a Roth IRA, and then you withdraw that before your retirement age, you pay taxes, right? 10% taxes. But if they go to school, then it's tax free. So we did it for Luca, but we are gonna stop contributing. So we're gonna just start like let it roll it out.
Okay.
So we mostly don't contribute ourselves. We have people. So birthday,
Yes.
right?
That's what certain cultures do. They don't want many gifts. Don't give me the little toys or nothing. You put in the fund.
And I put it in the birthday card. There's like the account, everything. They fund it, and then
I'm gonna do that.
we just
Yeah.
And it compounds for years, and that's that.
I've bought like stocks with birthday money for my kids. I'm just like, okay, this amount for this. You could buy yourself a little something, and then
investing early.
And now that you have a business, you could also pay your kid if he's in any, ad or and that one that they could use for anything rather than only for school. I think now you could also do a technical school, which is good because if they want to do like some kind of technical cosmetology, a licensed kind of thing, which I feel like you should do one of those things. So I have an esthetician license. It's
helpful,
yeah.
But that's a good tip.
And then you mentioned your son, Luca. I always loved that name.
Thank you.
And then it became really popular. So that was my thing. It became so popular, and I'm just like, now I don't want. Or once I know too many people that named their kid Luca, I'm like, I can't do it too. They think
I'm like frustrated right now.
It's okay, but it's cute. It's not that many. There's so many names out there. So Luca, I think we relate in the world of having a kid who needed more attention medically than most.
Yeah.
So how was that journey? You found out later on certain things, and how has it been since? How long have you been in hospitals and doctor's visits?
So Luca was born in 2023 in January. We knew there was something wrong. Like he didn't meet any milestone. He goes to the pediatrician, they're like, oh, he should be doing X, Y, and Z. I'm like, well, he's doing nothing. So there is something wrong. So we've been to every specialty you can imagine, cardiologist, neurologist, nephrologist, everything. A year later, finally, geneticist. And then they tested him for something that's called Soto syndrome. And I'm going to put the link here also for the GoFundMe for that to help the association. Not to help like Luca, but to help the Soto syndrome association because it's a rare disease.
For progress research.
They need funds for research and everything and for the conference and all. So I'll put the link here for that. But it's something that it was like shocking, right? Me and my husband don't have a genetic malfunction or malformation.
Or that specific gene, you don't even have it.
We don't,
it's snapped in him.
Right, it's called like de novo. So it started with him, and it's an overgrowth syndrome. So it causes like everything to grow faster. He's like a big boy. He's 2.5, and he dresses size 5 clothes. It's crazy, but it changed your world, right? Like when you're pregnant, you never think that, oh my God, like my child may never speak, or like what's the world ahead. We don't know if he's gonna make friends. We don't know how bullying will be. We don't know if he's gonna get married. We don't know anything. So it's like it's awakening. It's like that moment in life that you're like, okay, what really matters? And that put a lot in the business because then me and my husband sat down and said, we're gonna get this business off the ground and moving because we want time for Luca.
Yeah.
We want to be able to be part of his education. We want to be able to have funds for the best that we can offer. We want to be able to do things different.
Yeah.
So it also motivated us even more because now we have him, right? So that's big for us, and it's also like very like crazy on the family, right? Now we're like, should we have a second child? Should we not? For me, and my husband, like extremely hard. I had postpartum depression. I didn't even know my son had an issue. Like postpartum depression is like right after when you give birth, right? It's like super like 10 days, 15 days after. He was fine in that process, but he was in the ICU, so that didn't help. So it was a very like complicated road the first year, and now a year later we got the diagnosis. So it's been a year and a half now that we know, and it's been better. We're finding more therapies and more ways to help, but it is challenging, right? As a parent, to how do you navigate such a cruel world with a child that needs help?
Yeah.
So it's hard.
And navigating your own life and knowing that, okay, we want to make sure he's taken care of. We want to make sure he's safe, good, that we could aid in pushing him further as much as we can. But there's just so much. Adulting is a lot of responsibilities. And then when you add that, and they say God gives his challenges to those who he believe I'm botching it, but those who he believes could handle it. And it's just like, cool, dude, but like I don't want to be strong. I don't want to have to handle it, but I'm doing it. And I see that you are too, and you can do it. And he's so lucky that you both are who you are and are able to guide him and guide yourselves through it because it's something so new. And hopefully, I pray that there's crazy advances with that rare disorder, and hopefully they find ways to help him. I mean, I know the feeling of like dealing with all that. It's not fun. And also that feeling of why. Like my son, we were talking about it. It was such a random freak thing, and it's just like I see this little baby next to him who's huge and looks pretty healthy, but she had to wean off of freaking heroin or whatever the mom was taking. And it's like a freaking addict. Birthed this fat, seemingly normal. The only thing she has is an addiction that they have to morphine her down off, and she'll probably be okay in that sense. I'm sure there's other things that she's going to struggle with, unfortunately, but it's like, and then my kid, me, who I consider myself to be, healthy, did all the things, and it's just like your little intestine decided to play games. And
No, it's a good point. Like it's fair to ask, right? And home and you're going through this and you're asking like why me, why my family? We ask that too. It makes us think a lot about it, and we keep thinking that well, it's because God knows we can handle,
Yeah.
but also God knows He's gonna be taking care.
Yeah.
So it's a huge growth opportunity. Right?
And we need to get somewhere, and I think that plays a role in our own growth and our own path.
Yeah, it humbles you.
Yeah.
Once you have a child with special needs and you are out there in the world looking at other children, you have a different respect. You have a different way of looking at things. Before I was a mother, I would see a child in a wheelchair. Okay, that would hurt me. But now it's different. Right? Your empathy is on another level.
Yeah.
Right? You learn how to see the world with way more love.
Yeah.
Right? Like you feel for every parent, like you're sharing that with the other people that you see on the street. So it's growth, right? It
Yeah.
was good for my marriage too. Me and my husband got way closer after all that. So,
which is amazing because usually they say when there's a medically needed child, it breaks families apart. But I guess it depends on the individuals, and I guess you and your husband did it. Yeah. Yeah, I think it worked for me and his dad as well, because, and it's something that we're like, no one will ever know what it is. Like only we have experience, and we probably felt things differently, or like when we repeat stories, they might be a little different, even though we were both there at the same time. No one, only we have this experience together of knowing from the beginning to the end of like how it felt, how it is. We see him, it's such a bond that
It's unique.
yeah, it's unique. And I think even for his sister too, I think she had to learn a lot too with that. And
Sibling, yeah.
yeah, it definitely, I know it has affected her in some way or another, but I think overall positive. And what you said about the compassion, that she's gonna understand that more.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be a way more loving individual.
Yeah, and him too. It's interesting navigating it. And how do you share? What do you say to them? What do you do? But you figure it out along the way.
True. It's one of the things we asked, right? And we were in this conference in Philadelphia 2 weeks ago, and there was this panel, and they were all Soto adults. So these are adults that have the syndrome.
Oh.
And somebody in this audience asked, which age did you figure out that you had something different? And it was interesting because most of them said around 10, 12, 11 year old, they were like, yeah, I knew that, my mom, my dad, I was different. And then my mom and my dad explained to me I had Soto syndrome. So I'm like, oh my God, am I ready?
Wait, they told them then?
Yeah, like they didn't understand that before. So,
And they also, the information on it, the parents didn't know. Even the doctors barely knew.
Yeah, and for us, like it's a rare syndrome too. So it's like they're developmentally delayed. So a child probably 10 may have an intelligence of 6, right? So interesting to think about that because I didn't think. I'm like, oh my God, there's also that step where we're gonna have to have the conversation. Like, hey, Luca, you have a genetic condition, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely challenging, but we embrace it. He's a sweet boy.
Yes. He looks like such a sweet boy from what I've seen.
He's a mama's boy.
You have to bring him. He has to play with Apollo. Apollo's sweet, and he loves. Oh, that's my son. Yeah, and he loves like anything that's small. Even though he might be bigger than my son, but anyone that's smaller than him, he's like, "Oh my God, the baby!" And he thinks everyone's a baby. I'm like, he's your age. He's just stop it. He's not a baby. You're a baby. But it is interesting his awareness of his own condition and having to explain it. And I'm very weird in this, not weird in the sense, but I don't like to make it so much about that. Like you're you, oh yeah, and then there's that. I don't like to emphasize on it. I don't want him to ever use it as an excuse or as a crutch. I don't want him to be self-conscious about it. I'm just like, it is what it is.
Some things are noticeable, some not.
And then some teachers and stuff, I didn't even think about that part. And they, oh, you're special. No, Paul, you're not special. Your intestines screwed up when you were being formed, and it sucks, but we had to deal with it. And like now we're figuring out where to go from here. I don't think you're anything less or anything more. It's just, we'll figure it out. And that's just what you have. And hopefully it comes off and whatever. But it just is what it is. It doesn't take away from you or give to you. It just and then you get so used to it. It just becomes you don't know anything else.
Yeah, exactly. For me, especially, I have one.
And I have a 10-year-old who didn't have anything like that, so I do know what it is. But oddly enough, it just feels normal. Yeah, this is just
the day to day.
It's so weird. So other in the outside, people are like, "Oh my God, I wouldn't know what to do. Like, how would I wouldn't be able to handle it?" I'm like, trust me, when it comes to it, and you have no other choice, you'll handle it. There's no other way. Some run away from it. I'm not gonna say those don't exist, but for the most part, especially mothers, like you said, you stick around.
It's worth it.
Yeah. Oh man, I feel like we told them a lot.